Welcome to the Actors Reacts, the show we talk about all things Champions League, things we love to see in Europe. I mean, it was Champions League, innit? It wasn't anything like special. It wasn't 18, 19.
It was a more expected results week than last time out with Porto and Juventus going up.
No twists or turns.
It was still some interesting games for sure.
I wanted to see Atlanta come back. I was really, really hoping Atlanta would do something. I even predicted it in our podcast prediction, but nothing really happened.
Yeah,
it was kind of what we hope to see. I know you were talking about Vinicius having a pretty good dribbling masterclass.
He was, a couple of points. He was just unstoppable in terms of just running through the Atalanta defense. To be fair, the Atalanta defense isn't that great, but the guy can't finish. I mean, he at one point dribbled through about 5 Atalanta players, 6 yards out, and he just toe pokes it wide. I'm like, hit the target, man. He'd be so
fresh
good
out
if
of
he hit the
Football
target,
Manager.
because he hasn't been that great this season. And he's not really living up to the massive potential that he got billed with a couple of years ago. But he's still got plenty of time. 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got time, but I mean, a lot of players that you think are going to hit their potential usually start doing it by now.
How old is he?
Which is a bit of a shame. 21. He's got Rodrigo breathing down his neck as well, a fellow Brazilian who's a bit younger. I think it was 19, 20. So,
and looks like a more complete footballer.
100% he does. So, I know he's injured. I think he's injured at the moment, or he hasn't played much.
He definitely hasn't played much this season. He should have played more. But Rodrigo looks like a class prospect still.
Yeah,
this is his chance. Really, Vinicius really wants to prove that this is his time to shine. He's got to do something to shine, especially against a club like Atalanta. I know I was rooting for Atalanta, but if you're gonna beat them, you're gonna beat them in style, and you've got to perform.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, Real got the win at the end of the day. The draw for their next game is going to be tonight. Whenever you see this, so hopefully they get there's only Porto that's technically easier, but they did just batter Juventus, so I don't know, anything could happen. I could see Porto even winning the next round depending on who they get.
Yeah, I mean, if Porto came up against a team that has vulnerabilities, someone like Dortmund or Real Madrid, you could see them potentially progressing another round. I mean, it'd be a big shock. Don't get me wrong, but it's feasibly possible.
I reckon they could beat Liverpool.
I mean, anyone can beat Liverpool.
Do you think so? Listen, the thing is with Liverpool is we've always underestimated Liverpool. They've only been good, really, for the past 2 seasons, 3 seasons. But let's not forget that Liverpool always clowns in the Prem. They're just going back to how they used to be, but they were still winning Champions Leagues. So I don't think you can just sleep on Liverpool.
They'll be very tough, Liverpool still.
Yeah.
It's you can't just because they haven't been great recently in the league. They still beat Leipzig 4-0 over 2 legs, and Leipzig are a good team. So don't rule Liverpool out. They're still in the battle to go deep.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope that they can pull something out. To be honest, I mean, I'm not rooting for Liverpool, but I don't want to see them fail this bad. Do you know what I mean? They might not get in European football next season, so definitely need to do something. In terms of the other games this week, I know Ewan's been itching.
You're killing me,
and I swerved around it, but I knew you were talking about them badly. I'll let you off now. Go on, talk about your club for a few minutes.
What a club.
Kai
Havertz, he came out of his shell. Timo Werner, Turbo Timo. Oh, what a goal from Hakim Ziyech. But no, anyway, it was a good game defensively. Fantastic. Tony Rudiger, pocketed everyone.
I mean, he had Suarez in his pocket. He bullied him. It was actually quite sad, honestly. I kind of felt bad for him.
And the thing is it wasn't just Suarez as well. The amount of people that were shouting at the ref because of what Rudiger was doing to him, it was disgusting.
It was like he was playing like an Atletico Madrid player, which is the irony. And he at one point did literally shove over Suarez, and that could have been a penalty.
It would have been. It was a bit too excessive.
I don't know whether it was actually in the box.
It was outside.
I don't think it was in the box. But I would have given a free kick.
It wouldn't have counted anyway because there was a handball earlier on in the build up. Yeah, it was an obvious handball. The guy put his arm out, it hit his arm, and then ran with it.
But speaking of the penalty decisions, there was a very contentious one not long after that with Carrasco running in behind. The boy pretty sloppily looked like it could have been given away by, was it Christensen?
No, Christensen wasn't in the squad. It was Azpilicueta.
Azpilicueta, there you go. Azpilicueta played the ball back to Mendy, sold him a bit short, and Carrasco's running in, and he gets taken down. And honestly,
the thing is with that
I think that was a penalty.
The thing is with that is, I understand why it looks like a penalty, and at first glance, I agreed, but I think he just went down a bit too easily.
I think,
do you know what I mean?
Do you know what?
Sometimes I do that.
I do get that, and players will absolutely do that, and he did do that, he kind of threw himself to the ground pretty theatrically, but at the end of the day, he's running in behind at speed, and there is contact that stops him from getting to the ball, even if it is light and he goes down easily. It seems like enough for a penalty to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to argue because it gets views. But I don't actually think I have a leg to stand on here to even attempt to.
You really don't. Honestly, there's nothing you can say.
But the only thing is, I think it's definitely a penalty, but it's called karma. That's what you get when you dive. And the referee, I'm pretty sure, went into that game going, Atletico are going to dive. Because there was so many times where our players just absolutely bodied them. They went flying, the referee went, get up. And that's what happens if you get a referee that knows what you like. The referee won't take any of it. He doesn't care. So
which is good to have a referee who seems to understand the game a bit more. Sometimes you get referees that you just think, do you know how football works? Because people do this all the time. So I have to rate him for that. It was either way. I just didn't really see Atletico getting into the game. Even if we got that penalty, I think they would have lost.
We scored 2 goals. So
yeah,
was through anyway.
So fair play to you either way. Emerson denying some poor guy out of 250 grand because he scored a late minute goal. I don't know if you've heard the story, people at home, but someone was on Super 6 and then he won. Emerson said no. First touch of the game, only touch of the game, scores a beautiful finish and denies that guy out of money. But it was a great goal, to be fair. Really well worked, a great counter.
But yeah, and then the red card that Rudiger managed to be a bit theatrical.
You can't tell me that wasn't shady.
It was.
Have you seen that David Luiz meme where he pretends to be on the floor and smiles?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Rudiger was not hurt by that.
Same vibes.
But it's at the same time, it's similar to a penalty. Like, just because they go down in a very theatrical manner doesn't necessarily mean it's not a foul or not a red card. And you can see Savic's elbow move towards him and hit him, and it looks intentional, even if it's not massive. At the end of the day, it's an intentional elbow, and that is a red card. Yeah,
Rudiger turned around and went, you know what? Let's just play dirty like they did. Let's beat them at their own game, and he did it perfectly.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Diego Simeone has gone back to Madrid now, and he's got his board of transfer targets, and he's just slapped a picture of Rudiger right in the middle now. He wants him.
Get him.
Get him now.
To be honest, Rudiger really should, because I usually slate Rudiger. I spend a lot of this podcast slating Rudiger, and honestly,
I think everyone does
after watching that. Yeah, I mean, we actually destroyed him in the FA Cup final. I don't know if you remember, but do you remember we beat you in the FA Cup final? Do you remember?
It's just like we beat you.
Yeah. Rudiger was destroyed in that game. He actually looked terrible. It was obviously whenever we played against him, he just can't hack. It's
different
he
formations.
was technically gifted strikers.
He was just dodgy under Lampard, wasn't he? And similar with Andreas Christensen.
Yeah, it's just formation change, isn't it? They're both suited to
bring up the best of him. I think Tuchel has really learned how to adapt his play and bring out the best.
He's changed up the system, a bit more defensive, but way more compact. So difficult to beat, so difficult to score goals against.
Yeah,
and I think Christensen looked great. Thiago Silva looks great. He looks great managing from the line as well.
Yeah. Oh my God, this guy could have came to Chelsea and gone, "This is a retirement job. I'll do what I can." But no, he's on there. On the flip, it's still classed as being injured. Jumping up and down, squatting. It looked like he was trying to do a poo at one point. And just screaming at players. And to be fair, he wouldn't have been able to do that if there's a full stadium. One, because he wouldn't be able to go to that position. And two, because he wouldn't have been able to hear it. But it's just incredible that the guy has so much passion for a club that he's only been at for so long, and it's at the end of his career. But I think that has a lot to do with. No, that's not what I wanted to say. Let me start again. I think our defence and the amount of clean sheets we've had, as I know we haven't had Thiago Silva in them, but I think he's had a massive impact over the last year with a lot of our defenders.
Absolutely, yeah. Having such a senior kind of mentor figure for your Christensens and Zumas and people like that who are like talented players, but need to take their game to the next level, before they become top class centre backs. And often what you need for that is an experienced centre back to show them the way, basically.
And that's why you can never diss David Luiz again.
No, I can't.
Yeah, David Luiz.
I mean, that whoever signed Thiago Silva is a genius, because I don't think it was a Lampard signing, to be honest. I know he didn't get really many signings, but probably Marina signing. It was just a very intelligent thing to do, especially after get embarrassed by Arsenal because your defense is terrible. You have to think about what do you do next. And I think getting someone like him, especially when you've got these players. I mean, if Tomori was there at the time, so learning from him and same with Zuma and Rudiger, and they still look so much better because of it. And there's a real effect. I mean, if you look at other clubs that have done the same thing, I mean, Pepe at Porto, he's taken a bit more of a more direct approach and actually been good himself and doing things himself. But they're in the Champions League. What was it? Quarterfinals now. So they've obviously done something right. Arsenal, David Luiz. Don't want to toot my own horn, but toot.
Yeah, I won't put it on the same level.
We've been so much better with David Luiz. Listen, wait, we're still in the Europa League. So if you win that, we'll find out tonight. It's a great idea. So you have to rate Chelsea for that.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't want to blow my own horn, but I think we've got arguably either one of or the best defences in the Champions League or in Europe at the minute.
I think that's a fair shout at this point. I mean, you look at some of the top teams, some of the favourites for this year's competition. Bayern Munich have an incredible attack, probably the best attack in the world, but their defence is vulnerable.
Awful defending.
Their defence is really not that great. I mean, you look at some of the people who are in that defence and you think it should be better than it is, but they get caught out at set pieces a lot. We saw that in the Lazio game; they conceded from a free kick. And then Dortmund, we all know how dodgy Dortmund's defence is. Man City have a very good defence, of course. Porto defence is pretty good, to be fair. Liverpool's defence is all over the place. PSG definitely have some issues defensively. Their fullbacks aren't far from the level that you'd want to be for a Champions League team. I don't know what that was. Nice.
Drop my whole setup on the floor. Carry on.
But defense wins you games. And a defence like that, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to win the Champions League at all. I wouldn't be surprised if we get knocked out next round, but we can hope. But with a defence like that, if we don't concede, then we can't lose.
Yeah. I could see you getting quite far. I mean, I don't want to be ambitious, and I would never want to make Chelsea fans feel good. But getting to semis or even the final isn't far from reach, because if your defense is consistent as it is right now, you only conceded 2 goals this season. Not this season, this year. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's across all competitions. You've only conceded 2 goals this year.
Oh, okay.
Since 2 goals. Yeah,
I was going to say what. That's not right.
So. Okay, yeah, but when did he join? He joined in this pretty much the start of the year. So I mean, okay, fine. Under 2, you've only conceded 2 goals.
Yeah, it's a really impressive. It's a really impressive record.
It is. It really is. And so I think you've got the potential to do really well in this competition and in the league. If you're going to continue to win all these games, getting in the Champions League shouldn't really be hard for you.
Which is why I think we need summer. We need to get a striker that can score goals.
I don't think you're going to get Haaland though.
Whether it's Haaland,
because I think United and City are both after him now, and I think they've got a bit more.
I know this isn't quite the main podcast, but just adding, it's priced at 150 mil now. That's how much Dortmund want for him.
150
and that's without agent fees and his contract stuff. So you're probably looking at 250 to 300 mil in total for everything.
I mean, personally, I don't. I mean, your strikers haven't performed great this season, but I actually would continue to stick with Werner. He's played really well. in recent games. Tuchel seems to be figuring out how to get the best out of him.
I mean,
he was really, really good against Atletico.
Yeah, I mean, we say that he's not had as a striker, he hasn't had a great season at all. He's missed so many chances, but he's our top assister in the team. So he can't score, but that's something that he can pick up quite easily. He's doing all the rest well.
And the thing is, like, it's not. I don't even think he's not struggling with the style of play or the physicality of the league or anything like that, because he's getting in the positions right, and he's doing everything right up until the finish, and he just needs to hit the target and get some shots in the back of the net. And if he just converted like even half the ones that he missed, we wouldn't be talking about him having such a dreadful season.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but he is though. So either way, that is Timo Werner. We could just quickly talk about Bayern before we wrap it up. Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty easy game. We all predicted that Bayern were going to batter Lazio, and that's exactly what they did. Mm-hmm. They're going to be a contender. I can see them going for the final again.
Absolutely.
Maybe against Chelsea, we'll see.
Rematch in 2012. That'd be an interesting.
Because watching Bayern Munich play is just honestly, it's so good. Especially when they go behind. Like, just whenever Bayern go behind, they just turn into like prime Barcelona or like prime Bayern. Actually, I should just say that because it's just so entertaining. Yeah. So we'll see how go through.
As we said before, their defense is vulnerable to say the least, but their midfield is amazing, and Goretzka's turned into an absolute beast of a man, and he just runs the pitch. And Kimmich is arguably the best midfielder in the world this season. And then their attack is like one of the best attacks we've seen in the last 10-15 years. Sane, Gnabry, Lewandowski just scores every single game, no matter what. He's got I think it's 32 goals in about 24 Bundesliga games this season.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
That is crazy.
So, yeah, it's Bayern Munich, I'd say, are probably still the second favourites to win it this season, behind Manchester City, and then probably PSG and, I don't know, maybe Chelsea.
Underdog story?
Maybe.
We are actually going through the underdog story at the minute.
Yeah.
You currently are. If you could have anyone, actually, just to wrap it up on, in the draw tonight, who would you have?
So I think there's three, but I think there's one that I definitely want. There's Porto, Dortmund, and Real Madrid. I think are the three.
I don't think you want Dortmund, you know.
And
I don't think you want him.
I think it is Dortmund is the one, just because of how poor their defense is. And I mean, they've got an amazing attack, but if you put one of the best attacks with one of the best defenses, don't. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not keeping a clean sheet if we play them, but I don't think they're thrashing us putting 3 goals past us. I reckon 1-2 maybe, which is enough for us to go and score against that defence a lot more. So I think
it'd be a close one, which is, I mean, at this point, every single game is going to be close, isn't it? But I could see you being able to exploit their defensive weaknesses and being able to hold off Haaland and Sancho enough to win the game. Like, not entirely.
Yeah.
Haaland would definitely score because he's Haaland, but I think it's one of the preferable draws because of their defence. Porto's it's a strange one because you'd think Porto would be the easy choice for who would you want to play, but they played really well against Juventus, and defensively they're sound. I mean, Pepe at 38 is still bossing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take Liverpool as well, to be fair, because it makes them feel like it's more of a 2-legged Premier League game, which could end up badly for them.
Yeah, Liverpool, obviously they're not what they were a year ago, and you'd rather play them than say Bayern Munich or PSG, but they're still going to be a tough game in the Champions League. They're as bad as their form has been in the league, they've still kept up to their top standards in the Champions League so far. So that'd still be a really tough game.
Yeah, but guys, in the comments, put down who you would prefer to play against, or your prefer
if you were in the Champions League.
If you were in the Champions League, who your preferred team to be drawn. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. So
wrap it up here.
Yeah, go click that subscribe button. Go click the like button if you've enjoyed this, and peace.
See ya.